people and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, March 16th versus the Orlando Valkyries at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win 2, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you.
Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good.
Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Good. Well, it's an exciting day, obviously, for a multitude of reasons, as Nebraska basketball will have their first game of the Big Ten tournament later tonight. How about that? First game of the tournament comes when Michigan State is about to be knocked out, when teams like Iowa are already eliminated. Michigan, Gonzo. There are a lot of teams no longer playing, and Nebraska has yet to play their first in Minneapolis. They face off against the Hoosiers tonight, 8 p.m. tip-off for that one. It's going to be a fun one. Final moments in the Michigan State-Purdue matchup. Purdue, with 4 seconds on the game clock, leads 65-62. The winner of this one will get the winner of the next game between number 5 seed Wisconsin and number 4 seed Northwestern. Michigan State and Purdue, both 2 NCAA teams.
I don't know how Michigan State's going to get in the tournament, but yeah, they are
They're an NCAA tournament team.
They are an NCAA tournament team.
Should we look at the Warren Nolan?
I guess. It just seems to me like Michigan State's going to get in on name recognition.
That's part of it.
Because
they'll be a higher seed than Nebraska.
I was talking to Austin, and Indiana and Wisconsin and Michigan State have the same record.
Yep.
They have the same record. But I go, oh, Indiana, are they a tournament team? And he emphatically, no. I go, is Michigan State a tournament team? And he goes, yeah, probably.
I'm not saying it looks good, but they're an NCAA tournament team.
I mean, I guess. Good for Tom Izzo and Sparty. But so watching the last couple seconds of that Michigan State-Purdue matchup, Zach Edey makes a free throw, makes it a 4-point game. Michigan State, 19 seconds, has a chance to go down and cut it to 1 or 2. And, they're running a little bit of action at the top of the 3-point line and just a little handoff and cut to the basket. Guy was open for probably a layup, but I don't know who it was, but the point guard decides to shoot a contested 3, gets partially blocked, goes to the rebound, misses it, rolls his ankle also.
Yeah.
And Purdue gets the ball, gets fouled, and then they go shoot some more free throws. If you're Michigan State and Tom Izzo, you have to get a better shot than that.
So
that was not a good shot.
Purdue has now officially won 67-60. They got to review, so they're going to have to review that. 67-64. They shot a layup. Michigan State did it the last second, and instead of counting it, it was so close that the official said
that you don't have to review it.
But nonetheless, Purdue has won. So Purdue now advances on to play the winner of Wisconsin and Northwestern. But back to the Michigan State bracketology piece.
Yes.
According to Joe Lunardi of ESPN, Michigan State currently one of the last 4 buys. So a little bit of a lower seed than Nebraska is going to be in the tournament.
Okay.
Which is rightfully so.
As they should be.
Michigan State, their projected first-round matchup in a 10-7 game is in Charlotte against Clemson.
I take Michigan State.
I would take Michigan State as well.
Michigan State on that one.
Nebraska's in this bracketology prediction.
Is it still Texas?
It would be against Texas.
I'm going to be honest.
In a much more difficult round of 32 possibility, facing off against number 1 seed UConn.
I'm going to be honest. I would take Texas.
It makes you a little uneasy.
Don't like that.
It makes you a little uneasy.
That's such a great season, and you get that as your first round matchup.
So just for the folks out there, that we did this quite often, and I can try to find it out. Nebraska, I can pull up Nebraska's Warren Nolan, which is basically like their net rankings.
Shout out to Warren Nolan.
Quad 1 wins, things like that.
Guy is.
Michigan State has played 17 quad 1 games, and the reason that at 23-13 they're essentially in to the NCAA tournament is because they had a non-conference schedule that featured Kansas, Connecticut, Baylor. You also had, obviously, some nice wins against Butler. And although Michigan State in quad 1 games was 7-10, they were a combined in quad 2 and 3 games, 13-3. And so they took care of business against middle of the road type of programs.
I mean, they're 19 and they only have 19 wins. How are they so confidently in the
They have 23.
23?
Oh, I'm looking at 2022.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at. They're 19 and 14.
Why did this just randomly pull up 2022?
If they had 22, then yeah, they're in. They're 19 and 14.
19 and 14 now.
I don't know how they're so confidently in the NCAA tournament. Like they should be. Michigan State.
That is strange.
Michigan State
is
not going to be sweating on Selection Sunday, and they should be. Like I don't care if you're Michigan State and you have Tom Izzo as your head coach. You are 19 and 14 in the Big Ten, or you're 19 and 14, and you are a whatever seed in the Big Ten conference. You are in a top 4 seed in the Big Ten conference. You should be sweating on Selection Sunday.
Still 24th in the net.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so apologies. Not sure why that pulled up 2022.
I was confused for a second. I was like, 23.
Yeah, looking at I was like, man, I don't remember they played Kansas this year. I knew that they played Arizona.
You know who did play Kansas this year and lost by 2? Indiana.
Yeah.
And they're
why are you so pro Indiana?
I don't know.
The Hoosiers play Nebraska tonight.
I don't want them to win.
Which, by the way, I think give us a rating on on the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685 as we've somewhat closed the book for the time being on everything that happened the last 72 hours, 48 hours more so. As we've closed that book for a moment. Give us a rating 1 to 5. 5 is Nebraska's beaten Indiana twice. I am superiorly confident that they can beat them a third time, and we're playing on Saturday. That's number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is, oh boy, I don't like playing somebody 3 times in a season.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Uneasy. Number 1 is uneasy. 5 is I'm extremely confident. Nothing's going to stop Nebraska from knocking off the Hoosiers 3 times this season. Give us a rating, 1 to 5 on the Starter Heyman text line. Let's go to the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Happy Friday, Chase B. Appreciate you, man. Thunderknock Collins says, isn't Michigan State like 19 and 13? What do records even mean? We already know this, right?
It's a great question. I don't know what records mean.
We already know this. Net is everything.
The net is ridiculous.
The net and the RPI, strength of schedule matters more.
Yeah, but how much does the net take into account that it's Michigan State? I feel like it takes into account a lot of it. And it's just like, well, you have Tom Izzo and you have Sparty on your shorts. We'll give you an extra 10 points.
Right, because on the flip side, it's been Nebraska trying to
build their own resume.
Recognition.
Yeah.
Right, build respect. And the way you do that, I think we've learned, obviously knocking off a couple of the upper echelon teams, which Nebraska has done. But I think it is something that has to be built over a couple of seasons. Like Nebraska next year, they don't have to be 22-9. They could be a 20-10 type of team and still have an opportunity to get it in. Where in previous years, but I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I understand. It's not how it should work.
But it's recognition.
The NCAA tournament is based on how you did that season. It shouldn't be based on your history. It shouldn't be like, well, you're UCLA and you're a blue blood. You should be getting in. Here we go. Let's give you an 8 seed based off of nothing. It's ridiculous.
I also think storylines play a big part into it because as this is not like some, insanely popular sports take, right? Like the college basketball world needs to see Keisei Tominaga in March.
It has to.
And this is Keisei's for sure final go around in college basketball. Like that gives Nebraska a leg up, I feel like.
Does it?
If Nebraska was on the bubble, they're not on the bubble. They're in.
But
I also we need to enjoy this stress-free couple of days that Nebraska fans have.
You're not wrong.
Because on Sunday, not only is it just women's basketball going to be making the selection show, it's Nebraska men's basketball.
Like you will be, like both Nebraska teams will be in. It's just a matter of where they're seated and where they're playing. Like you don't have to worry about, I don't know if they're going to get. No, they're in.
Yeah.
Like they're both in. Now it's just what seed are you and where are you flying to?
So that's the thing. Like back in 2014,
or if you're in Omaha, where are you driving to?
You kind of knew in 2014 that Nebraska was in after their win against Wisconsin, but you were still not uneasy. Just like, all right, they're a 10 seed in that tournament. Okay, you don't feel really good about it. Here you are, you're 2 whole seed lines projected, 2 whole seed lines above that. Wow. I don't know.
How's
I
it
don't know. It's just like these last 2 days kind of suck, kind of put a damper on everything. But here we are. Enjoy it's going to be a fun weekend, especially if it starts tonight.
It sucks that these last 2 days, Nebraska hasn't played, and instead of enjoying the fact that you can just watch Big Ten basketball without worrying if Nebraska's going to lose and move on, that you had to deal with Trev Alberts going and wearing a much darker shade of red.
Looks very, very awkward.
Doesn't look natural. The
whole tweeting with Texas A&M
what
stuff
is he doing?
too.
What is he doing?
Is so I just looked at I don't know, it was 1 p.m. probably on the dot. I looked at Trev's Twitter. And it wasn't because I'm have this weird connection because it pops up on your For You Twitter page, right?
So obsessed with him.
And he's retweeted a ton of Texas A&M stuff
just right away,
but has not unfollowed any Nebraska accounts and has not followed any A&M accounts.
He's not gonna. I don't think he'll.
That's the thing.
Them.
Is it the petty unfollow Nebraska accounts?
I don't think he's gonna unfollow them.
Just add on the follows.
Yeah, he'll just add the Texas A&M ones.
Man. I don't know.
You see what he has to deal with in his first day as athletic director?
I do.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
A little bit of legal stuff going on down there with an assistant coach. Yeah. couple murder charges, assistant coach.
Yeesh.
Okay, let's get your ratings. A couple of them came in here. We have, let's see, because you guys have sent multiple texts. 2117 says it's a 1. I'm uneasy.
It makes sense.
Jeff G gives it a 5. 3581 on the text line gives it a 5. 6475 gives it a 5.
I mean, you've beaten them by double digits both times that you faced them. You've held them to 70 points both times that you faced them. But man, look, I know everybody says it. It's tough to beat a team 3 times.
It is.
It's tough.
And you got the neutral site piece of it. I think
it's not on the road. There's no Indiana crowd, but again, you beat them at Indiana, so
we're gonna have Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska joining us here in a few minutes. He's not from Minneapolis. He's in Minneapolis. And part of the thing I want to have the conversation with him is does it give you comfort knowing that Nebraska, while they were on the road in Assembly Hall, not only jumped out to a large lead, but when it shrunk down to, I think it was 4, but before Bryce Williams hit the pull-up jumper from the right elbow, I think Indiana had cut it down to 4. And Nebraska, then what did they do? They pulled away. Does that give you more comfort as a Husker fan going into tonight, knowing that that's the opponent? And Nebraska did that to them in Assembly Hall on the road when Nebraska's narrative around their team all season long was that they were this incompetent basketball team away from PBA. I don't know. I think Kurt in Northern Kentucky says I'm at a 3, comfortable but not comfortable. I think that's going to be a lot of people tonight.
Yeah.
Lincoln has a pretty cool opportunity to have a pretty sweet atmosphere around it tonight.
It's going to be a weird feeling.
You are first of all farther than you've made it ever or since 2014.
You are currently at the spot that you've made it a couple of times.
2.
Yeah, but you have never gone further than this.
And that 2014, not to discount it or discredit it, there's fewer teams in the Big Ten at that point. So you had just the single bye. There was no double bye in 2014. So I think when you look at it this year, Nebraska, here they are. Tomorrow around 2:00, Nebraska will be playing in the Big Ten semifinals. And not to mention against either the 10-seed Ohio State, who knocked off 7-seed Iowa, or number 2 Illinois, which, by the way, that Illinois game, you matched up pretty well with them on the road.
Pretty good.
Man, there's a lot of excitement. And once again, just the stress-freeness of, hey, you know what? I'm going to hang out this weekend. We're going to watch not 1, but 2 selection shows on Sunday. And then it's a week and a half basically off, I believe, March 21st. No, excuse me, not March 21st. Yes, it would be March 21st. So not a week off, but a couple of days off before Nebraska's playing in the NCAA tournament. Here you go.
That's crazy.
Here you go, man. It's going to be an exciting week. Buckle up, Husker fans. Let's preview it more. Let's talk more specifically about the Nebraska and Hoosiers matchup tonight. We'll bring in Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska when we return. Don't forget to chime into the show. Send in your questions. Send in your thoughts. 464-5685 and we'll address them all coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win two, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit. Stock number G214773.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Look at him and tell me there's a God.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you. Happy Friday, folks. 402-464-5685. The phone number to call and text the rest of the way here. And let's go to the Allo VIP line. VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And we bring in Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska with us. He joins us live from Minneapolis, the home of the Big Ten tournament. And something that we forgot to mention in the first segment, not forgot to mention, we were just too excited discussing Selection Sunday coming up, is that Juwan Howard has been let go, fired, relieved of duties at the University of Michigan. So, Steve, first of all, hello. How's Minneapolis?
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on. Minneapolis is wonderful. I'm enjoying it over here. Good weather, good basketball. It's all been good.
Are we at a Holiday Inn?
We are at a Hilton.
Oh, wow. Hilton. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I was in the lobby getting a coffee, and then all of a sudden I look over and Zach Edey's walking by me, and then like Matt Painter is walking by me. So I guess I'm in the same spot that Purdue and actually Michigan State is also. So.
Ooh. Well,
they stayed in the same hotel.
That could be dangerous because, as you know, Purdue just knocked off Michigan State.
Yeah. I may have seen something, and maybe I gave them the motivation to go out there and get that W by walking by them and getting a coffee. So maybe that's on me, guys.
There you go.
Wow.
Well,
how dare you?
Nice job. Okay, Steve. Let's first talk about the whirlwind of these 2 days, right? Like, it was kind of blindsided, and I want to keep it just one question regarding Trev Alberts, right? Before we talk Husker basketball. Just kind of blindsided. Just overall thoughts of what went through your head over the course of Wednesday and then yesterday.
Well, it was kind of a crazy Wednesday, obviously, and I was blindsided by it. I was shocked by it. I totally understand everybody being angry, confused, mass confusion for sure, just popping up out of nowhere. Texas A&M, what? But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think this kind of tells the story about Nebraska athletics behind the scenes and kind of the alignment that Matt Rule talked about that was so important of bringing him to Nebraska in the first place. That alignment of the president, chancellor, and athletic director all being on the same page. All of them are gone now, and Matt Rule is the only one left. And now, reading his statement that he put through Texas A&M, it just kind of seems like, the alignment is not there anymore, not even close to it. And I think that's fairly obvious. So Nebraska is kind of the laughingstock again, unfortunately, across the nation. A lot of people are probably laughing at Nebraska, but, it's going to be an uphill battle right now. Nebraska's not in a good spot, if you ask me.
Moving on to Husker basketball now. It's a big day. Nebraska coming off of one of their most successful just regular seasons in recent memory, it feels like. And one of the most enjoyable, right? They're like, this is a fun team to cheer for. And obviously, Keisei Tominaga, but then guys like Sam Hoiberg are fun to watch. And Josiah Alex, a hometown guy. Like, this is a group of players on this roster, and frankly, Fred Hoiberg as well, that it's like, okay, here's Nebraska at 22-9, I believe, if I remember correctly. They're a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. And on top of that, they're fun to cheer for. Like, people have their favorites, and they're easy to root for, I guess. Like, tonight's a big opportunity for Nebraska basketball.
So, yeah, it was always – I always viewed it as a massive opportunity for sure early in the week, and then just watching how the week played out with the Trev Alberts news, I think this game becomes even more important, honestly. Husker – I wrote it this morning in a column on Inside Nebraska. Everybody should go out and read it. But I kind of wrote that, Nebraska fans, this whole fan base, they need something to smile about. They need some good news in their life right now. And if watching a basketball game for a couple hours on a Friday night can do that, it'd be awesome if Fred can get his guys out of there with a win and then play in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. I mean, this team, like you mentioned, Nick, has the entire fan base behind them. They play a fun brand of basketball. They play a diverse brand of basketball. They can make 12 and 14 threes like they did in the first two games against Michigan earlier this season in the regular season. Or if the shots aren't going down, they're also capable of D'ing up and getting on and diving on the floor and grabbing loose rebounds and rebounding the ball and being tough. I think they've gotten tougher during this final stretch run here that we're watching. So it's a fun team, like you said, and they can win basketball games in different ways. And I think that's kind of why everybody's kind of rallied around this team, is because they're fun and they can do it in different ways. And sometimes earlier in the season they weren't that tough, I don't think, but I think they might have found something and that's clicked down this final stretch, and hopefully it continues in Minneapolis with a quarterfinal game against an Indiana team that they're riding a 5-game win streak. They're trying to fight for their NCAA lives right now, and they're going to come in here with some momentum. Khalil Ware is playing really, really great as a 7-footer, smooth mover with a nice touch in the paint. So it's not going to be easy. I don't think it ever will be in the Big Ten, especially in the Big Ten tournament. But it's for everything that happened this week, I think Husker fans want to smile a little bit, and I think a Husker win in Minneapolis will do that tonight.
Everybody's talking about the rest versus rust argument for these two teams. Indiana coming off of their tough win against Penn State to start off their Big Ten tournament, and Nebraska, again, with the double bye, so they've had some time to relax. They've beaten Indiana twice this season, only allowing 70 points. But again, after the double bye and having Indiana with a game under their belt, what are you looking for with Nebraska early in this matchup?
Well, Fred Hoiberg is always a huge, if the game is away from PBA, you need a fast start. You cannot give the opponent any ideas right off the bat, right off the tip. So I'm looking for a fast start for Nebraska. And to me, that's Keisei. Keisei is going to have the opportunity to let it fly right away. He's going to have actions called for him on the court to get him some open looks from 3. And if he's hitting, that's great. If he's not, maybe they need to adjust and kind of do some different things. But I'm looking for a fast start for sure. And I think Keisei Tominaga is going to, get his opportunities. I think Fred is going to get him the ball on with some good looks from behind the perimeter, and we'll see what that goes. But also, Indiana's strength, I think it's their front court. I think that's fairly obvious with Khalil Ware and all the kind of big and talented guys they have on that roster. But that backcourt, those guards, I think Nebraska has a clear advantage there. Guys like Bryce Williams, Jamarcus Lawrence, those guys I think can really make an impact tonight. Bryce Williams, obviously, with his length at 6'7", he's really shown me. I think he's really turned into a very good guarding. He's really kind of really good at guarding the other team's point, and I think that's kind of showed up recently this season. And then Jamarcus Lawrence is kind of found a new life coming off the bench. He's not going to be in the starting lineup, so I think that's another thing that kind of works well for him. And so I think that Nebraska guards have a clear advantage over the Hoosier guards, and I'm just kind of really interested to see how that all plays out. And then if they get out of there, that's going to be Fred Hoiberg's first Big Ten Conference win in the tournament in his Husker coaching career. He's 0-4 coming into the day today. So Keisei Tominaga, try to see if he's hot right away, and then obviously the backcourt with Bryce Williams, Jamarcus Lawrence, Keisei Tominaga. I think they have the edge over Indiana's smaller guards too.
We're hanging out with Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska. And Steve, we asked our listeners in the first segment before we had you on, give us a rating. 1 is uneasy, 5 is superiorly confident on Nebraska being able to knock off Indiana 3 times in one single season, or anybody for that matter. And you and I and us on this show have had a multitude of conversations throughout the year of fans realizing, okay, yeah, Nebraska's this actual quality basketball team, right? And it feels like slowly but surely Nebraska fans, maybe from their perspective, have gotten over that mental hill of okay, yes, Nebraska, we can trust them. We can trust them as a basketball program. Well, it's here's another obstacle tonight, right? In that jumping over the mental hill for Husker fans of do we trust them to go into a neutral site, knock off a lower seeded team where the expectation is for them to probably win tonight?
Yeah. So I totally understand that. And to be honest with you, Nick, so the question was 10 being the most confident and 1 being not confident at all. I'd probably go with 6 right now. I'm of the thinking that I would like to see a little bit more for them before I start trusting them to really be confident in a win, because you're absolutely right. The way I view it, I view this as a completely different obstacle than what they've had in the regular season. This is the Big Ten tournament. This is a conference tournament. You're in Minneapolis. The place is packed with fans from all different teams. This is just a different vibe. And obviously with everything that went on with the Trev Alberts stuff earlier in the week, I wouldn't be surprised if something is lingering around. It's like a black cloud hovering over this entire program, and there's so much pressure, I think, right now, there is a little bit of pressure, I can say, on Nebraska's basketball team to kind of perform and do some good for the entire program. And everybody's going to be watching, and I think everybody kind of realizes the magnitude of this game. And so that kind of just naturally, everybody's human, that naturally creates some nervousness, maybe some nervous energy. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a clunky start to this game, with Indiana wanting to muck things up like they might do. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably go with a 6 on the confidence scale because they are 2-0 against the Hoosiers. But again, I'm not putting this at like a 7 or 8 because, it's a neutral site. It's a conference tournament. Weird stuff happens. It's another late game. It's going to be the last game of the night. They're going to be hanging around in the hotel room all day. I kind of liked how Rink Mass said that meditation with Kurt Joseph, the strength and conditioning coach, has helped them for those late games, those late tips. So, I'd probably go with the solid 6 on my confidence meter right now.
I always find the narratives fascinating and the last one before we let you go, I always find the narratives fascinating of like, we, as Nebraska media members, I guess, we are so accustomed to like Nebraska playing on Wednesday for that matter, I guess, where the narrative is, man, if you make it to Friday, dang, you got to wait. You've already played 2 games underneath your belt before you have to play again. Where now it's Indiana had a game to shake the rust off. Nebraska, they've had a full, basically a full week off. That could work out against them. It just feels like Nebraska's always behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, there's always something to kind of think about, and the rust part versus the not rust part, and that's legitimate. I think. I mean, Indiana, they played a game last night. They won a tough one, and now their engines are already going to be warmed up and going out there. Well, Nebraska hasn't played for a week, and then before that, they only had one game the week prior. So, even if Nebraska wins tonight, I think that their semifinal game would be like 1:30 in the afternoon or something. So it would be a quick turnaround. Fred Hoiberg kind of voiced his displeasure about that at his last press conference in Lincoln. So if they do get a win, it's going to be a real quick turnaround. But yeah, I mean, there's ways you can talk yourself into circles thinking about all the different elements that come into play. But the good thing about this team, I think they have shown, and this goes back to Fred's leadership. I think they have shown that they have, whatever kind of comes their way, whatever kind of adversity finds them, they have shown that they can find a way to get through it somehow. Earlier in the season with those road games, I mean, no, not at all. But I think as the season has gone on, they have realized that, they are actually a pretty good basketball team. And when everything is clicking, they're a really good basketball team that can maybe make a run in the NCAA tournament when they are there. So, I'm excited for tonight. I really hope that some good positive things happen and everybody can kind of forget about what transpired earlier in this week with, put a smile on their faces watching a basketball game.
There you go. It has a chance to be a very exciting weekend, even if Nebraska's not to win the Big Ten tournament. Just to have a stress-free Selection Sunday is going to be a pretty unfamiliar but welcomed feeling, I think, in Lincoln.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think it's going to be stress-free. Obviously, we don't want to talk in absolutes because can't tell the future. But with, the resume that they've gained, the star power that they have, the deepness of the team that they have, that they've built this year, I think that they're basically a near lock for that NCAA tournament, which is exciting. First time in a decade, which kind of sounds crazy to say it out loud.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Steve. We'll go ahead and let you go, man. Enjoy Minneapolis the rest of your time there. Hopefully you're there throughout the weekend, but if not, safe travels back, and we'll talk to you soon.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, there's Steve Marik in the Hilton. Shout out to the Hilton in Minneapolis. All right, let's take a break. 402-464-5685. Thanks to Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska joining us. Let's bring in Austin and Strick. When we return, we'll talk Husker baseball as they start an 8-game homestand tonight against Nichols. You might remember there was a little bit of a disappointing outing against Nichols last year for Nebraska baseball. They have a home set against them this weekend. Husker softball plays at Bowling this afternoon and evening and throughout the weekend as well.
Had a big come from behind win last night.
And then who are some bubble teams that are needing some things to happen this weekend? We'll break all that down with the guys from On the Block when we return to wrap up the week here on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. They encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
Join us on Saturday, March 16th for Taylor Swift Night at the Icebox. We'll be jamming to the best hits from Travis Kelce's Girlfriend all night, and you can be part of the fun too. The first 500 fans in attendance will receive a friendship bracelet, while the first 200 fans will get a Stars Taylor Swift themed poster. Are you ready for it? Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, March 16th versus the Orlando Valkyries at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win 2, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals across the state. Join us in Grand Island at Fauner Park March 21st and 22nd. Go to acres.com/expo24 for a complete schedule of speakers and activities.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Freaking
easy, Stricky.
Strictly.
Welcome back in.
Calm down.
To the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I do want to point this out just because Rico would do this to me if it was me in his spot. Did anybody hear Rico breathe obnoxiously into the mic during the last segment? It was just like that.
It wasn't like that. It was so you know when you do that like stretch like your whole body like it just like it like my whole body like tensed up and then like I just let it go and it was just like it was just like and like as soon as I did it, I realized that the mic was on and we're on air and I was like, crap. And I look over at Nick and Nick's trying to hold in his laughter and I was like, why did I do that?
I just want to know if anybody else saw. I heard it. I just want to know because
couldn't see it. Wasn't on the stream.
Couldn't see it, but you just heard Rico just let out a nice little breath.
Shout out to Steve.
We bring in Strick and Austin. What's up, gentlemen?
How we doing, boys?
Good. What's up?
I'm just hanging.
Yeah.
Chilling.
How you doing, Stricky? Big day.
Yeah. Huskers about to get it in. They're double bye.
Yeah.
And Stricky's got a puck drop.
Oh, is that right?
Puck drop at Lincoln Stars game tonight.
Stricky going to the puck drop.
Double it up.
And got my little jersey. I'm gonna throw it on. I'm ready.
Don't slip.
I know that would be a travesty. There's a lot going on, bro. I mean, I can't stakes. I got to go do the Husker game.
You got to do steaks?
No,
you're making steaks.
Oh,
he's grilling.
No, the Huskers, play the late game tonight. So post game.
Oh, you have
tonight.
A lot of
me and Bach
steak.
and maybe Austin. If Austin's busy, but if things happen, maybe you might get an Austin sighting.
Oh,
we'll
is
see.
that right?
We'll see. Yeah, it's a long day.
Well, anyway, 464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the rest of the way here. Okay, let's talk. I wanted to talk a little bit bubble teams, right? Because according to Joe Lenardi, and I know people have their opinions on which bracketologist is the best, if you will. Wake Forest lost to Pitt yesterday.
Trouble.
Which means Wake Forest is probably
Last
out.
4 out.
Right?
Oh, no.
Probably out.
They won their Super Bowl, and then they start losing again. Who
Yeah.
could have seen that coming?
Well, yeah. Well, how's Duke's ACC tournament going?
Someone put out a tweet yesterday, and I don't remember who it was. It was basically Nebraska men's basketball is still playing their conference tournament while Duke and Creighton are not.
Yep.
And it's just like an incredible fact.
It is.
Like Nebraska men's basketball is playing more basketball. And here's something that we haven't had a chance to talk about. Guys, we've had to ignore the first 2 days of the Big Ten tournament. Who knows what is going on in Minneapolis? Not us. We haven't had to care. Isn't it so fun?
Nobody has
I like
a clue.
this.
And they said the first day was horrible. Like
Yeah.
the
It was
games were just horrible.
I mean, even the Indiana Penn State game last night was like
Not
clunky.
good.
It was not fun to watch. Today's the first day where it's like, all right, I'm locked in from 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. This is going to probably piss some people off. I was more locked into the Big East than I was the Big Ten the last 2 days.
How by far?
By far.
Even the SEC.
By far.
Big 12 for me. Though.
Here's the deal. You couldn't have found somebody that was more in tune for the DePaul-Villanova game on Wednesday night than I was.
Nick, big DePaul guy.
Chris Holtman to DePaul.
Not even big
Good for
DePaul
DePaul.
guy. Not even a big Villanova guy, even though Yes, I found a way to squeeze it in. Where's Ryan Arcidiacono playing basketball right now? Any suggestions?
He got traded from the Knicks to
Brooklyn?
Detroit.
It is not. He is not in the NBA. He's in the G League.
Oh,
but is he playing in Italy or something?
No. He's in the G League.
He's probably playing for Maine.
He got traded to Detroit. So whoever's Detroit G League.
Motor City.
Nope. It is not the Motor City. It is
Westchester.
the Windy City Bulls.
Hey.
Do you want to know one of his teammates? Derek Favors.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Derek Favors is playing on the Windy City Bulls.
Former first-round draft pick.
That's right.
Of the Utah Jazz.
In the Derek Favors College. Where'd he go?
Syracuse.
No,
he did not.
Right conference. Correct conference. I was looking. It was not. I was looking at a way to how do I squeeze Ryan Arcidiacono and Derek Favors into the happy hour today? And I found a way. I'm thrilled with this.
No, he's an ACC guy.
Is he a GT guy?
He is Georgia Tech.
It's Georgia Tech.
Look at this. Georgia Tech. Yes.
Good luck up, Austin.
Thank
Nice.
you.
He's on bracketology.
Nah, Derek Favors.
You want
Utah Jazz.
I will put my search history out here.
Whoa.
To show I didn't look it up.
What is Mississippi State doing to Tennessee, though?
Unholy things.
It is not good. It is no bueno what's going on to them right now. Oh, I'm sorry. We're bracketology.
No, you're good. You're good. No. I just saw you were on the ESPN app.
We went on a Ryan Arcidiacono, Derek Favors. Arcidiacono, former Villanova guy. The Villanova Knicks.
I love.
Still tearing it up. Shout out to Jalen Brunson with a 40-piece.
That's right. There was just something about the Ryan Arcidiacono and Villanova that I really enjoyed.
That was a fun team.
I liked those Jay Wright.
They played D. I like the way they played D. I enjoyed them. They were fun, and they were like mature. Like they played like mature.
It's those teams when they won the championships, because in 2015 you're coming off of Duke winning with the one and dones. Mm-hmm. Then you have, I think next year 16 and 18 was Nova. That was really the switch from the one and done era of college basketball, just accumulate talent, to, hey, let's build a system, let's build a program. Juniors and seniors are going to win. Because you look at the champions since then, since that 2015 Duke team, it was older Nova, it was Carolina, it was Nova, Baylor, Kansas.
Yeah.
Older team. UConn was an older team.
Yeah.
That 2015 Duke team was really the last team of that era to succeed as a freshman-led, freshman-dominated team.
The youths.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Are regressing.
Bracketology, what's up?
No, I'm just looking at some of the bubble teams. Michigan State.
We need more
Michigan State can't do it now. They're out of there.
Yes.
They're gone.
You don't think Michigan State's in?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're in.
I think
I don't know if they deserve to be, but they're
I think they
is the ugliest
name on the front,
team.
Stricky. Name on the front.
Bingo. We had this conversation too.
Should be in.
Have a Dookie summer. Have a Dookie season and then just jump in.
Let me ask you this.
Manure.
What if Ohio State
they've been playing Illinois? Listen, they've been playing great ball.
What if Ohio State beats Illinois?
But that's one of those things when a team like that, like where they're six in their last 7,
mm-hmm.
they're a team that you look at it from the outside as a committee, and you're saying they're a hot team right now. I still think they need to make a deep run. I don't think Illinois just gets them there, but I think they need to get probably a finals. Yeah, I think they need to get to
so that's finals. Not going to happen.
I don't think that would happen.
So Ohio State has knocked off, in this order, Maryland, then they lost to Wisconsin. They knocked off Purdue. Then they lost to Minnesota. Knocked off Michigan State. Beat Nebraska. Beat Michigan. Beat Rutgers on the road. Beat Iowa in the Big Ten tournament. And potentially 2-seed Illinois tonight.
Right now, it's just a hot thing for me. I think.
Okay.
How many teams fire their coach during the season and make the NCAA tournament?
Oh, very few.
Yes, I would say maybe what?
I would say 2? I would say 0.
Because it would have to be firing them early enough to where you wash the bad taste of what they did in the first half of the season to force them to fire them out of your mouth, and then have
pause.
That's not even.
That wasn't even bad.
What you said earlier was
and then the second half of the season have tough enough opponents to where it's that what have you done for me lately? We're still 8 games over 500 because we fired our coach early enough.
I would be under the assumption that if there are teams that have done that, fired their coach midseason and still made the tournament, they got hot in their conference tournament and didn't get an auto bid, right? That's where Ohio State's a unique case because we've talked about this being a down year for them. They're not that good. Yeah, they ended up in the first 4 in the Big Ten, playing on Wednesday. But really, their record wasn't atrociously terrible. They had some okay games in the non-conference. They're still well above 500. Like, it's not a terrible team. They're definitely on the outside looking in. But I think Ohio State has a better NCAA tournament case than Iowa did going into their game.
So how many get in for the Big Ten? Without, I'm talking about 6 automatics other than automatic.
I think it's 6. I think your locks.
You think you get 6?
I think your locks right now are Purdue, Illinois, and Wisconsin. I think those are your locks.
I think you get 2 more.
Nebraska is next to the lock as you can. I think
Northwestern,
Michigan State, and Northwestern.
Michigan State is going to end up with the worst seed.
Bingo.
I don't know if they're being projected that right now, but I think Michigan State ends up with the worst seed of that group.
You're talking about like Indiana last year playing that first game?
Potentially. Sure. Send them to Dayton. They deserve it.
That's what I was just going to say is I wouldn't be surprised if it was like
be ready to learn Daytonese.
And kick them out of the Champions Classic. They don't belong.
Losers.
Who do you want to put in?
UCLA.
Ooh.
Except they're already in the CBS Sports Classic, so it's not happening.
Okay.
Syracuse.
Villanova, before Jay Wright left, they'd be the new blood in that conversation. But even Louisville, I think, is a bluer blood than Michigan State.
Yeah, but Louisville...
Not right now.
Yeah,
but I get when the event started, Michigan State made perfect sense. But if you compare Michigan State's resume to any of the 3 other schools, there's a very clear outlier.
So the last team in...
Yeah, far and above the best.
Hold on. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
So this is a potential first 4 matchup. Michigan State and A&M. The last team in as 2 11 seeds. Michigan State and A&M?
Do you know how
Tyson Walker versus Wade Taylor?
Yeah. You know how
Buzz Williams?
How green this state would be?
Buzz to Oklahoma State.
Ooh. Dang. I don't know.
Where did Chris Holtman get hired?
DePaul. Yesterday.
Big DePaul guy.
How do you not know DePaul? It's the Demons.
Man, you guys get off my boy Stubbs. I just talked to him. Leave him alone.
We ain't mad at Stubbs. We feel bad for him.
I do too.
It's the Chris Holtman
It's
era.
unfortunate. What DePaul used to be it used to be on the verge of a blue blood.
Hey, but the way they lost that Villanova game, come on, man.
What a tragedy.
Come on.
They did not deserve that.
Tricky, they were up the entire game on Villanova, and they lost in the last 0.8 of a second.
Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons.
Unbelievable.
Let me just dip it in.
Unbelievable.
And then you had and then last night in the Marquette Villanova game, you had Iguodaro, where great draw, a great play design by Shaka.
Mm-hmm.
And Oso Iguodaro
made the pass to Cam Jones.
Yes.
Shaka,
made the pass.
I'm too smart.
And somehow they were able to overturn it to where it didn't count.
It was one of the most bang plays I've seen in my life. But what Iguodaro did was he brought the ball up and then kind of did a little hesitation
How many
on the
seconds
fake.
were left?
They had like 3 seconds left,
Okay.
I think. It looked at the start like Leitner versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
Where they throw it except half court. Iguodaro kind of caught it here, went up, small pass fake, then made the bounce pass. If he just catches it, goes right into the bounce pass, he gets it off, you're good.
Yeah.
But he had to hesitate to make sure the passing lane was there. Ball was just on the palm of the floater.
I mean, it was one of those, and you don't have many of these where like you could look at the replay and depending on, I don't know, like you could talk yourself into either side.
Game on the line.
Here,
Aliens
Stricky, I got it pulled up for you.
So here it is, Stricky. So sideline inbound, they'll throw it up top, Iguodaro, and then just bounce passes it. I mean, but if there's a freeze frame of when the ball leaves his hands, and it is, I mean, hundredths of a second.
Yeah.
If he had smaller hands.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So you're telling me if the game's on the line, death beam pointed at the
what's
planet.
What's coming up on
aliens
the block
have the
today?
death beam.
We have a couple more things to talk about
Iguodaro.
when it comes to Trev Alberts. Why don't AD stick around Nebraska? Why? Stricky, Nebraska guy at his core, but he's been around. What does Stricky see? Understanding Nebraska, understanding other places.
What do I see?
Why might athletic directors be tempted to leave Nebraska? They just don't stick around. And then here's the thing. Nebraska men's basketball plays tonight.
Yeah.
All week we haven't talked about the Big
People
Ten
forgot.
tournament because we actually have time. So we're diving into just kind of a recap, what's happened so far. We'll dive into what kind of statement Nebraska can send with a win. But what does it say if they lose the trilogy?
Text line was great today. Appreciate Steve Mark of Inside
Hey, first time for
Nebraska
everything.
joining it.
Kidding.
Thank
Love
you,
guys.
Thank you, Austin. Boycott from on the block. Go ahead, do it.
No,
that's
you don't.
so mean. I don't mean that. I really don't mean that.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. Okay. Anyway, on the block, Strick and Austin coming up next. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Enjoy the stress-free weekend of Selection Sunday. Huskers are going to the dance, baby. Here we go.
Adios.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus